Hi, I'm going to give you a quick introduction to Pianofly, the new music software from miniMusic for the iPhone and iPod Touch. Here's the main screen. We've got a whole bunch of different instruments we can choose from. You just tap on an instrument and you can play it. Or you can tap on a different instrument to hear a string sound or a bell. But what's cool about Pianofly is you can scroll the keyboard while you play. So it's a full live scrolling multi-touch keyboard. You can scroll along the bottom here without playing notes. Or you could hold it in place along the bottom, so you can do a run of notes. So we've also got a master volume control on the side here. So while you're playing a note, you can change the volume. You could start it low and fade it in. So you have a lot of dynamic control while you're playing. Let's just check out a few more sounds while we're here. So these are some interesting kind of effect sounds. So we also have on the other side some buttons. We have one that expands the keyboard to the full screen. This is a great way to use all your fingers. You can get your thumb involved and play scales or practice pieces of music. We have built-in documentation, easy way to refer to all the instructions. And then we have a pop-up menu here that lets you do things to the current selected sound. You can set a new icon for it, you can use any image from your photo library, or you can copy and paste a sound. So you can make a duplicate of the sound before editing it, so it's easy to make variations on a sound. So Pianofly is also a great sound editor, so we're going to talk about that in the next section. Now I'm going to give you a quick introduction to editing sounds using Pianofly. You already know that tapping on a sound selects it. Double tapping on a sound will open the sound editing panel. There's a few different things we can do in here. To get out of the sound editing panel, you tap on this check mark in the top right corner. I'm going to go to one of the last pages of sounds where we have a bunch of empty sound definitions. I'm going to pick this first instrument. Here we just have a single node within the sound. You can have up to 3 nodes. Some synthesizers refer to these as operators or oscillators, but we picked a shorter word. Every node can have a frequency associated with it. That's like the pitch. And it can also have an envelope associated with it. The envelope shapes the sound over time to determine how quickly the note attacks when you first play it, and how quickly it fades away when you release the note. So we can adjust the frequency just by grabbing this handle and moving it. If it's in the middle here, it's playing the same frequency that the note is on the piano. So the A below middle C is producing a 440 Hertz sine wave. We can make it down to an octave below that, and we can go 1 octave or 2 octaves higher. So we can change these frequencies while we're playing the note. So I can hold that note and do pitch bends. And if I want to get back to that original tuning, to tune my instrument, if I double tap on the handle, it'll snap to that middle band. You can also use other waveforms. Right now we're hearing a sine wave. We could also play white noise. We can also play a square wave. Or we can play a sawtooth wave. So there's a lot of variability there. So with the sine wave, next thing I want to show you is how to make the envelope shape change. Right now we're playing, you can see it has a pretty quick attack. There's this little spike at the beginning. Then you've got a sustain level, which it holds as long as you hold the note. And then at the very end there's a slope where the note is released, and it shows how quickly it fades away. If you double tap on the node, you can edit that envelope. We could have it fade in more gradually instead of a sharp attack. We could have it die off very quick, or we could have it linger for a long time after we release. Okay, so there's lots of ways you can reshape the envelope to get different types of instruments. For example, a percussive sound, like a piano, the hammer hitting the string, you would want a very fast attack. Whereas something like a violin that's bowed, you would want to come in more gradually. Okay, now let's look at what else we can do with multiple nodes. We're going to add a second node. I'm going to tap the check mark to get out of the envelopes so I can see the frequencies again. So now we have two frequencies. Right now they're the same, so we only hear it as a single pitch, but if we change one of them, we'll hear two frequencies. And then if we want to modulate, which is what FM synthesis allows us to do, you can tap on the first node and drag it down to the second one. Now we're only actually hearing the second node, the green one. The red one, instead of us hearing it, it's influencing the frequencies of the second node. It's doing modulation on the second node. So now instead of just one or two frequencies, we're hearing a whole bunch of sideband frequencies for a rich overtone series. So that's what allows us to make all the different instrument sounds you hear in Pianofly. Come back soon for an in-depth sound editing tutorial where we'll talk more about FM synthesis techniques.